Balto and the Great Race, Chapter 8, Bluff, Norton Sound, and Gullivan. In Bluff, Balto felt the change in the weather long before any humans. He knew a storm when he smelled one. He paced back and forth, his nose to the wind. Casson thought Balto's actions came from tension and impatience, which were what Casson himself was feeling. He had not slept in 2 days. The wait was terrible. Finally, news came. Henry Ivanov reported a successful transfer to Sapala on the ice of Norton Sound. Ivanov said that Sapala had taken off immediately and was making good time toward the town of Gullivan. There, Charlie Olson and his team were waiting. High winds and blowing snow had been reported, but Olson's run to Bluff would be only 30 miles. At last, action was close at hand. Casson rechecked the sled and readied the harnesses. Balto understood his musher's actions. He leaped to his feet and stretched his muscles. They would be leaving soon. Sapala spent several agonizing minutes on his stomach on the shattered ice with the harness lines in his hands. He wound his feet around the sled runners to anchor himself. Then he began to get the dogs out of the water and onto firm ice. Just one panicking dog could cause both Sapala and the sled to fall into the water, but each dog kept his head. Each dog remained calm, trusting in his musher's ability to pull him out of the freezing water. Not for the first time, Sapala was proud of his Siberian huskies. Pulling the last shivering wet dog from the water, Sapala looked forward to telling his friends at the Nome Kennel Club how Siberians had remained calm in the face of disaster. Sapala took a few minutes to rub all of the dog's feet before going on. He knew his animals would be no worse for their icy dip as long as he took care of their paws. The dogs were protected by multiple layers of fur covering a thick layer of fat. This fur and fat made a tight seal against the frigid water and cold air. If Sapala had fallen into the water, he would already have been suffering from severe frostbite, if the cold water itself hadn't killed him. Sapala and his team had lost valuable time, so they continued toward the town of Gullivan at a brisk pace. They reached Gullivan, and the transfer of the antitoxin to the next team was made quickly. Sapala took only a moment to warm the crate of serum by the fire. He explained to Charlie Olson that the antitoxin must not be allowed to freeze. Olson was happy to be on his way. Gullivan had been a stark reminder of what he was racing for. In 1918, an epidemic of influenza had hit the little town. 7 years later, there were many people who had lost loved ones to the disease. Olson did not want to see the same thing happen in Nome.